Galen Hill, congratulations first of all.
Thank you.
You came all the way to Paradise, and you're going home with quite a handful.
Yes, sir.
$2.3 million, the title of the first major champion of the year, and easily the biggest tournament on anything that PokerStars does. Has that sunk in yet, or is there just too many of us running questions at you so far?
Absolutely not. I have hasn't sunk in at all. I've just been so focused on playing poker the last week, 12 hours a day, every day. Today, grinding the final table all day, and playing. Thank you. Playing heads up with Chris for a good 3 hours. Just so focused. Still hasn't really had a chance to process it at all.
And there's so many things we could talk about inside that, but I want to get a little background on you. You and Chris Oliver had played quite a bit online.
Yeah, we're both pretty well-known online players. Especially him, actually. He's very highly ranked. He's a very good online player.
Now, your screen name is, I believe, Gaspar Lamarck?
On Stars, yeah.
Now, explain to that, because most people aren't going to get that per se.
It's Gaspar Lamarck is a character from Ocean's 12. My UB screen name is Turk Malloy, and I have a couple other side screen names that are, or like not poker side, but like usernames and things that are all like minor characters from Ocean's 12, which is my favorite movie, which everybody hates, but it's so I just kind of made those, and he's like the master thief in the movie, so I thought that was kind of a fun poker screen name, and it's been that ever since.
Not too bad. Now, tell me a little bit, how old are you taking home $2.3 million?
24 years old.
So 24 years old, coming back through lots of poker experience.
Yeah.
Coming out of what region of the world, real quickly?
California.
Out of California?
Born and raised in LA, and then Bay Area for the last 6 years and the next 2.
Now, I've heard a story about you playing backpack poker, basically barring off the back room of your math
I haven't
class.
told this story in years, and then it keeps coming back to it this week. That's people keep asking me where did I first play poker. So I played against my friend Brad in math class in the back. Back we put our backpacks on the desk and play cards behind them, and I don't know. I was pretty sure I was the winner in those games, but he claims he was the winner, and he's got a better memory than me, so who knows?
Now, where did you start playing in LA? Lots of options, lots of capacity?
I didn't play, because I was in high school and stuff when I lived in LA, so I didn't play a ton of poker there. I think I snuck into 18-year-old card rooms a couple times or something like that, but no major live poker really. I played some live in college. At the local casinos, like the bigger limit games and some of the no-limit games, but primarily online when I was in college, and then since.
That's all right. Now, I have to ask something, because I don't know if you know, Life's a Bluff is a bit I work with. We do the poker cartoons. The feature hand of that particular website is the Jack 3 offsuit.
Oh, really?
And a particular save your hand of yours that I saw in the updates involved the Jack 3 offsuit. Can you give us a quick update on that?
It's Jack 8.
Oh, okay, never mind that.
Yeah.
I don't even care. No, I'm kidding. There was a big hand. It came from behind against Ace 8, I believe. Hit the Jack on the river, and you told the dealer what?
I said, game over, I'm winning this tournament, and that's the end of the story.
And that was just pretty stunning. And then the dealer ended up at the final table.
Yeah, this was on day 3. So, I had 80K. I had 80K in front of me. I shoved 10 bigs under the gun. And, without going into long description, somebody who wasn't paying attention announced raise, clearly did not intend to raise. And then there was a long back and forth, and he made it very, very clear that he did not want to have to raise, but the floor forced him to. So he begrudgingly put in his min raise, and he had an ace 8, which had me crushed. And then I banked a jack on the river, and I was at 80K on that hand. That's the only time until the last hand of the tournament that I got it in behind. So I banked 80K. I had 80K to start the hand.
Rolled it up.
40 minutes later, I had 1.7 million, and then that was it. After that, never looked back.
Hit and run.
Yeah, right? Definitely.
It's not bad. Now, I've got to talk a little bit here about the laydown.
Yeah.
Now, we're all watching it. We're thinking it's over. He's made the wheel. You didn't know at the time he makes a full house on the end in a runner-runner style. Now, Chris had admittedly gotten very good at getting there
Right.
at the end of it during this entire tournament.
Yeah, he ran pretty well.
Got in there and he shoved. Now, in a conversation that we had, I've heard that it's polarizing to shove that much. It's a huge bet on the end. But one of the things was that stuck out in a few of our readers' minds was it because he suddenly made an all-in shove on the river and he hadn't really done any all-in shoving bluffing during the turn, or was it something
No,
else?
because like a lot of like the game flow and like some of the four betting dynamics and things that needed to be set up like have already been established online. Like it's not like we need to establish like, okay, he's 3-betting me light, I'll 4-bet him light, because like we already knew that was going to happen. Like especially with me and Mike Sowers as well. So a lot of these dynamics like existed coming into today. So I mean, like it wasn't like a thing that I didn't expect ever to see, and I had to react to for the first time. Like I know Chris can bluff shove rivers with air, especially on like super wet boards. Like when the river card changes the dynamic of the board, I know he can bluff on those type of things. But it was just like it was more bet sizing. Like it was just an unnecessarily huge amount for a bluff. I just felt like when he jams that, he feels like I've got a hand I can never get away from, and it's only for value. And it may be the 4-6 straight, but like almost always going to be boats, and a lot of time it's going to be the ace deuce. But I mean, like at that point, I hadn't really I was like, I don't care, it's got to be a boat.
So you weren't surprised when people told you folded to an ace deuce boat on the river?
Well, I mean, like I folded the straight because I thought I was beat, So like, when people told me it was a confirmation. I was like, I suspected that I was beaten, and then also.
You remember?
What's going on? What do we got here?
This is so Max bought 50% of me in the event.
Yes.
Very nice.
And then so he's quoting a post where I asked him how I wanted to handle the 1.1 million I was going to
Before
ship
the
him.
tournament, he wrote me a message.
I'm not lacking in confidence a lot of times.
Not too bad.
So I mean, on that hand, like, people look at it and they're like, oh, it's an incredible fold because of like the absolute value of my hand. Like I have a straight and we're heads up. Like nobody ever folds a straight heads up. But it's like when you look at like the relative value of like what he's shoving, like he's definitely shoving for value, I think. And what is he shoving for value? Like if he has ace king, like if he has ace 5, like top 2, no way. Like even if he has the 4 for chopping a gutter or chopping the wheel, it's like super unlikely. Like it's gotta be boats. And it's like that's part of being a good poker player is just being able to recognize the relative value in spots and be able to fold.
That's not bad. I got to ask here, the 2010, a lot of history, a lot of experience, a lot of success between the two of you, and now live on camera, the first delayed broadcast but live broadcasting of poker to have the two of you come heads up. What does that mean to you to be in this situation, or is in the end of it just winning a tournament?
Can you ask the question again? Sorry.
Well, okay, so there's two parts to it. One, you've got a lot of experience.
Right.
So playing heads up and getting to the finish and winning is obviously going to be a big competition between you.
Right.
But at the same time, it's a historic event. It's
Right,
the first
right.
delayed broadcast of a major
Right.
piece on ESPN. Is it just I beat him, I won the tournament, it doesn't really matter what I was doing, or is all that history and all that piece?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking about it. The only time I would think about that stuff, and I was like, man, like when we're playing heads up for 3 hours, and there would be sequences where we just like raise fold 20 hands in a row. I was like, man, my friends must be really bored right now. But I mean, like, I'm playing for millions of dollars. I'm not gonna like do something fancy and like, just to appease people. But that it was in the back of my mind, but it certainly didn't affect my decision making at all. But at the end of it, it's super cool that like not only did I win the tournament, but people can see the final table how I won, like hand by hand. I didn't just like get it in bad like 15 times and get there. Like I played pretty well in a lot of pots to have chips for the all-ins. You win the all-in, but like how many chips you have when it happens is like a large do in a large part, and then also things like Chris isn't gonna 5-bet or 6-bet jam ace 9 against like some random person who's never played before, right? So being able to set up that dynamic is important as well.
It's a very big deal. I think we could honestly talk the rest of the night, but you would fall asleep. But we could talk the rest of the night about your
I can
strategy.
talk a lot of poker.
Two more questions for you. That's all I've got. One, according to our webcast here with our Russian friends on the other side, you've apparently only got 50% of yourself here. Did you have backers? Did you have people going into this kind of thing, or was it all you?
Yeah, so I'm actually not, like, tax-wise, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to, I have no idea, like, what I'm supposed to discuss backing-wise yet, but I certainly didn't have 100% of myself. But I'm not, a lot of times I hear people are, like, kind of upset that they sold a lot, or they swapped a lot, or gave people a couple percents for sweats or things. But, like, I would never be in the situation to play, I did well last year. I won a lot of money online, but, like, I still understand bankroll management. And this isn't only a 10K, it's a 10K with an absurd field size. It's just so big. I never would have been able to play in this tournament if I hadn't sold. So, like, that's just part of it. I mean, I have no regrets about that at all.
Not a problem at all. The next tour stop's coming up. We have huge fields in February at the LAPC. Are you going to try to get to the Aussie Millions in time for this? What's next for you?
I'm not going to go to the Aussie Millions. I'm almost positive. LAPC is, like, close and easy for me. Maybe I'll make it there. And then there's, like, in the Bay Area, there's the Shooting Stars in March, so maybe that.
One of my favorite stops.
Yeah, that's I've never played that one either. And then sometime this summer or spring, like closer to World Series, I'd like to go to one EPT. Haven't been to Europe a few years, so that'd be fun. But I nothing's set yet. I have no idea. I may not play another hand of poker this month. Who knows?
It's still early. Now, the first thing that pops in our mind now. I'm pretty sure you didn't plot out, this is it, I'm going to buy a deluxe apartment in the sky, moving on up, or anything else. But did anything flit through your mind of, oh my God, I'm buying X?
Literally nothing. I know that's, like, the most boring answer ever, but I have bad spending habits already, so if I want something, I probably already bought it. I don't know. I mean, it's actually, so I mentioned I have a backer, and it's written into my backing contract that when I have a huge score, my backer pays for the party. So he's gonna have to foot a bill.
That's not bad.
It's gonna be a
Where's
lot of fun.
Where's it gonna be? In LA?
Probably back in the Bay, probably in San Francisco.
In the Bay, in San Francisco.
Well, my
Nice.
birthday's next week too, so I mean.
This is a pretty good present. It's a little early.
Yeah. It's I'll take it though.
That'll work.
I didn't really want to play poker for another 7 days, so.
Well, Galen, honestly, easily one of the most exciting comebacks I think I've ever seen on TV and one of the others. Thanks for sitting down with us. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
What's up?